very warm welcome to all the students. This is another video of investment analysis and portfolio management, and today we are going to discuss the first topic of unit number 3, which is efficient market hypothesis. Now let's just begin the discussion with the help of a query. There is a company, the name of the company is Arnica Company. Arnica Company is expected to issue bonus shares in the ratio of 1:2. Funds are parked for 2 to 3 years. A newspaper report says, Mr. Karan, who owns stocks of Bajaj Company, has these questions. Should he dispose the shares of Bajaj Company and buy Arnica stock? Will such switch yield extraordinary returns to him or not? Now, the topic and the discussion here says that buying the Arnica stock based on the newspaper report may not yield extraordinary returns for Mr. Karan, because once the information is available in the public domain, the market will react to it. Expectation of returns also has an impact on the psychology of other investors. The price of Arnica stock may have increased. Now, when we talk about efficient market theory, it states that share price fluctuations are completely random and it do not follow any regular pattern. Meanwhile, there are actually other technical analysts also which see meaningful patterns in their charts. These thing raises questions. Does the intrinsic value of the stock have any meaning? Is it related to the stock price? The following section and the discussion in this video will lead to the answer of these questions. Now, when we talk about market efficiency, it is an expectation of investors regarding the future cash flows which are translated in the share prices. Market efficiency is the accuracy and speed with which the market translates the expectation into prices. Now, there are very many forms of market efficiency, but before that we are going to discuss random walk theory. Now, random walk theory is actually the basis of efficient market hypothesis, which is also known as EMH. In 1900, there was a French mathematician, Louis Bachelier, who wrote that security price fluctuations are random. Based on these researches, Eugene Fama stated that efficient markets fully reflect the available information. If the markets are efficient, security prices reflect normal returns for their level of risk. Fama also suggested that the efficient market hypothesis can be divided into 3 categories, that is, weak form, semi-strong form, and strong form. The level of information considered in the market is the basis of this segregation. So when we talk about EMH, efficient market hypothesis, it is actually a theory which was developed in the 1960s by Eugene Fama. He stated that it is impossible to beat the market because the prices already incorporate and reflect all the relevant information which has already a part of stock market. According to EMH, the stocks always trade at fair value on the stock exchanges, making it impossible for the investors to either purchase undervalued stocks or sell the stocks for inflated prices, and therefore this theory negates the theory of fundamental analysis and technical analysis. And Eugene Fama also stated that it is impossible for any individual investor to outperform the overall market through expert stock selection or market timing. Now, when we talk about the types of efficient market hypothesis, there are 3 types in which Fama has divided EMH. The first is weak form EMH, the second is semi-strong form of EMH, and the third one is strong form of EMH. Now, let's just first of all discuss weak form EMH. This hypothesis states that historical prices form of the basis of information used in the weak form of EMH. According to this theory, current prices reflect all the information found in the past prices and the traded volumes. The future prices cannot be predicted by any investor by analyzing the past prices. Everyone has access to the past prices, even though some people can get these more easily than others. Liquidity traders may sell their stocks without considering the intrinsic value of the shares and cause price fluctuations. So basically, weak form of EMH advocates that the price of the shares in the market has already incorporated the past prices and the traded volumes of the shares in the market. Now, the economists have also suggested various tests for weak form of EMH. The first test is filter rule and the other test is runs test, and both of the tests actually use the strategies based upon the technical trading to prove that historical prices are already incorporated in the future prices, and therefore the investors cannot predict the future prices and cannot outperform the market by engaging into the gain of abnormal returns in the market. The second form of EMH is semi-strong EMH. Now this form of EMH states that the security price adjusts quickly to all the publicly available information. In semi-strong efficient markets, security prices fully reflect all the publicly available information. The prices not only reflect the past prices but also the available information regarding the earnings of the corporation, dividend, bonus issue, right issue, mergers, acquisitions, and so on. In the semi-strong efficient market, a few insiders can earn a profit on the short-term basis, but the investors who adopt the buy and hold strategy, they basically believe that it is impossible to beat the market in the long run. So semi-strong form of EMH basically suggests that all the publicly available information is already reflected in the share prices, and the share prices are completely fair in the stock market. So therefore, semi-strong form of EMH also incorporates the weak form of EMH. Now there are the other third type of EMH is strong form of EMH. The strong form of EMH states that the security prices fully reflect all the information. It represents an extreme hypothesis that most observers do not believe to be literally true. This hypothesis maintains that not only the publicly available information useless to the investors or analysts are the part of the share prices, but all the information is actually useless in nature and it is incorporated already in the share prices. So basically, when we talk about strong form of EMH, this particular form of EMH suggests that all the publicly and private information is already incorporated in the share prices, and therefore the market, the investors, they cannot outperform the market and can earn abnormal returns. Now there is an empirical evidence that also concludes that strong form of EMH exists in the market. Basically, there are many tests for strong form of EMH which deals with mutual fund performances. Financial analysts have studied the risk-adjusted rates of returns from hundreds of mutual funds and found that professionally managed funds are not able to outperform the naive buy-hold strategists. Now Jensen also studied various mutual funds, and he also concluded that even though the analysts have a wide range of contacts and associations in both the business and financial committees, they are yet unable to predict returns accurately enough to recover the research and transaction cost. He holds this as a striking piece of evidence for the strong form of efficient market hypothesis, and therefore on the basis of this test it is concluded that strong form of EMH exists in the market and that the market is efficient and the share price already incorporates the public and the private information. So basically we can say, in other words, the strong form of EMH incorporates the weak form of EMH and the semi-strong form of EMH. Now there are certain benefits of efficient market in terms of investors' utility. That is, the market price do not stray too far from the true economic price. Yes, because there will not be any kind of sudden nasty crashes in the stock market that usually leads to unusual pricing behavior in the stock market, because the market is assumed to be efficient and it is assumed that the shares are traded at fair value. Secondly, an efficient market increases liquidity because people believe that they will not be paying too much for the shares in the stock market. The shares will be fairly priced and therefore the investors do not have to pay higher amount for any of the shares in the stock market. So these are two of the benefits of efficient market from investors' point of view. But there are certain other concepts that contradict the theory of market efficiency and therefore negates the concept of EMH on a whole. The certain points that prove that market is inefficient are: number one, overreaction of the market. The studies have shown that market overreacts to corporate news. If the corporation announces a reduction in earnings or a closure of a unit, the market will overreact, and therefore the price of the stock will decline in the market, and therefore the investors will get a window of opportunity to capitalize on such information. The second one is reversal to mean returns. Now, some studies in the past have found that stock returns have a tendency to return to their average level. Stocks that currently yield low returns tend to yield high returns in the future. Likewise, the stocks that perform well at present may not yield high returns in the future. The returns may go back to the average level. So this gives an opportunity to predict the future price, which is contrary to the random walk theory. The third point is delayed absorption of new information. Usually, the stock prices react quickly to information. Research has proved that stock prices tend to increase continuously for some time after the announcement of good profits. Likewise, they continue to decline for some time after the reporting of low profits. And again, it provides a window of opportunity to the investors to capitalize on such information in the stock market. Next is low PE effect. Many studies have provided evidence that stocks with low price earning ratio yield higher returns than stocks with higher PEs. This is known as the low PE effect. There are certain researchers who have stated that low PE portfolio experienced superior returns relative to the market, and high PE portfolio performed in an inferior manner relative to the overall market. Since this result directly contradicts the semi-strong form of efficient market hypothesis, it is a noteworthy conclusion that the market is inefficient. Small firm effect. The theory of small firm effect maintains that investing in small firms provides superior risk-adjusted returns. The small firm portfolio usually outperforms the large firm portfolio. It has been proven in many of the previous researches, and hence it is another conclusion that the market is inefficient in nature. The last one is the weekend effect. Pharma and French examined that the returns generated by the S&P index for each day of the week. The stock prices tend to rise all week, reaching a peak on Friday. Usually the stocks trade on Monday at a low prices before they begin the week's price increase. Buying on Monday and selling on Friday was a general pattern which was observed in the stock price market, in the stock exchange of the country. The weekend effect is a small but significant deviation from perfectly random price movement and violates the weakly efficient market hypothesis. So this is yet another proof that market is inefficient, and therefore we can conclude that the EMH is a theoretical concept and it doesn't hold true in the practical form. The investors should pursue a buy and hold strategy with a careful selection of stocks. Yet the anomalies of the efficient market hypothesis suggest that a prudent investor can earn higher with predictions than by following a buy and hold strategy. Thank you.